Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn and my channel is Making with Marilyn. Now my daughter lives several states away and so I need to make a few things this week to send to her for Valentine's Day. So I've already made a tumbler and I do have a video on this. I made a little bag with this gorilla on it. She graduated from a college that has a gorilla as a mascot. Now this was the DTF sublimation hack. I have a few videos on this. I didn't do this one on a video because I was at a friend's house teaching her how to do it. But I am going to put that gorilla on a shirt in an upcoming video. And then today, I want to make a couple of coasters that I send to her. Now these are some Cricut coasters that I've had for a very long time. I haven't tried them yet, so we'll see how those work. I'll use some heat tape. I have some butcher paper. I have my heat resistant glove. I have a little mini press here, or a craft press, a small craft press, not a mini press, small craft press. And then I'm going to use HTV Romp paper. Now this box is empty. I loved it so much that I ended up buying a second box. Notice it's different packaging, but it's the same weight and the same paper. Now if you don't want to miss any of my future videos, make sure you're subscribed. Then also click that bell and select the all notification. That way YouTube lets you know anytime I upload new content. Now the first thing that I want to do is go ahead and get my design ready. And I'm going to do that in Inkscape, but you can do it wherever you like to design and print from. So I'll open Inkscape. Now I was at a friend's house recently, and when she uses Inkscape on her computer, she has a PC, I use a Mac, it looks quite different. So if yours looks different, you might have to look around for these same features, but it is going to have the same features. You just might have to access them slightly differently. All right, so when I open Inkscape, my template or my canvas is defaulted to 12 by 12. To change that, I go up to File, Document Properties, and then I'm going to print on 8.5 by 11, so I select it. Then I can just X out and it's changed. Now I can blow that up by hitting the Shift and the plus button. It might be a little too large. Let's go back down one. Okay, so I just need to bring over my images. Now I have a background image I want to use, so I drag it over and say OK. And there it is. It's way too big, but we're going to fix that in just a little bit. And then the main part of my design is this little cat. Again, I just say OK. Okay, isn't that cat cute? Okay, so to determine the size that I want, I'm going to go ahead and click on this circle. My coasters are 3.5 inches in diameter, so I click on the circle, and then I can just draw a circle over here. Now, to change the size of it, I have to go up here to the Select tool. It's already selected. It's unlocked, which is good, because look, it's not a perfect circle. And then I want this to be a little bit larger, so I'm going to say 3.65. And I'll show you why I want it larger here in just a minute. Okay, so there's the basic template for me, but I don't want it to be red. So it is still selected. I'm going to go to Fill and Stroke. Fill just means what is the main image filled with, what color. Stroke is there a little line around it? And if so, you can change the color of that. All right, so right now, fill is on solid. I want to go ahead and get rid of any fill. So I click on the X. Notice it went away. You can't even tell where it is because there's no stroke around it yet. So let's go to Stroke Paint. And I'm going to say I want a solid stroke paint. And right now mine is set to black. I believe the color's defaulted to the last one that you used. I'm not 100% sure about that. There's the size of my coaster. We need to get this to fit in there. So let's just click on the cat. Then I need to lock the proportions of the cat and make it a lot smaller. I'm going to go ahead and start at 3.5 inches and see if that's a good size. I'll move it down into place, and I actually think it looks pretty good. Okay, so then this gray thing, let's see, let's try to make that, I'm going to start with 6. All right, let's just move everything over so we can see it better. Now let's go ahead and blow it up again. Okay, I actually think that looks pretty good, but I want this gray layer not to be so strong. So I'm going to go ahead and click off of everything and then select just the gray and white layer. Now, because I'm already on fill and stroke, opacity is right here. I can just drag that down until I like it. I just want it to be a little bit of a visual interest, but I don't want it to compete with the cat. So I think that's a little too light. But I think something in that area there is good. So to make it where all this extra out here doesn't print, I need to click on my little circle. Then I'm going to hold the shift key down, click out here. You can tell it's selected because you see the dots over here. Now I'm going to go to Object, Clip, and Set. And it's exactly the way I want it. All right, now let's see if that cat's the right size. Now these strips down here, those aren't going to show on my coaster. They're just too big, but I don't want to make my cat so small that you see all those. But I do think my cat is a little bit large. So I'm just going to drag it until I think it's just right. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to select everything, go up to Object, Group. Then since this is sublimation, I need to flip it horizontally. So I'll go Object, Flip Horizontal. Now I want to make 2 of these. So I'll make them smaller, hit Command-C for copy, Command-V for paste. I have my second one there. I need to make sure that both of these items are within the page boundaries, otherwise it won't print, or anything outside the page boundaries won't print. And then I'll move them pretty high. That way any of the extra paper can be run back through the printer when I have something else to make. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and print these. I'm going to print them on Epson EcoTank 15,000 that I have Hippo Sublimation ink in, and I'm going to print them on HTV Runt paper. So I'll do that, and I'll see you back at the table. Now here's how my cat prints came out. They look good, but of course they're going to get much more vibrant once we add heat to that. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut the bottom 2/3 of the page off. That way I can run that back through the printer when I want to do something else small. And then I like to press my things individually. That way, if the first one doesn't work well, I can adjust for the second one. So I'll go ahead and cut those apart. All right, let's see if there's instructions on here. Well, it says you need a heat press that reaches 400. I may not do it quite that hot. I usually tend to do things around 385. But for sublimation, you do have to have a heat press that gets really hot. And so if you have the first Cricut Easy Press, I don't think it went up to 400, but the second one did. And then most traditional heat presses do as well, as does this little craft press. All right, so she just lives in a small apartment. I'm going to make 2 of these to send to her, and then I'll save the other 2 for something else. So I can tell the top side is very glossy, very smooth. The bottom side is kind of, I would not say it's rough, but it doesn't have that glossy coating on it. Kind of the difference between a glossy paper and a matte paper. So I'm going to do it on the glossy side. Now, I hadn't planned on cleaning these because they came out of a new package, but to me they look like they need to be cleaned. So I'm going to go ahead and spray some alcohol on it. You don't want the alcohol getting on your prints, so I'll move those away. This is a 90% rubbing alcohol. I either got it at Walgreens or Walmart. I think I got it at Walgreens. Then I just put it in that container that I got at the Dollar Tree store. All right, then I need to let that dry off. Moisture and sublimation do not get along. Now on my little craft press, because these are thick, I want to go ahead and set the height of my press. So I'm just going to stick that back in there so that it's in the middle. And then let's see how much pressure is on this now. All right, that's too much. So you probably can't see it, but there is a knob that you rotate to loosen it or tighten it. Okay, I think that feels good. So I'll go ahead and let this heat up while I'm working. All right, so I went ahead and set that on 390 for 45 seconds. So while that's heating up, let's go ahead and get these prepped. Now remember, we have a circle design, and so that's going to help me place my coaster. Now because I have the circle slightly larger, I know it's going to cover the whole surface, and then I can just put my coaster in the center of that circle, and I know the cat's going to be placed right. All right, that looks good. So then I'm going to take some tape so that I don't have any shifting, because if you have shifting, then it's easy to get blurring or ghosting. I'll do one more piece. Now I already have a piece of butcher paper under it, and so when I flip it over, that butcher paper will be on top. And I want to have a piece in case there's any ink that bleeds through the back side of the sublimation paper. It protects the top platen of my heat press. And the other thing is, there is exposed ink, and so that is likely to end up on my bottom butcher paper, so I have it doubled over. Now somebody told me that you could actually use copy paper or printer paper and it was less expensive than the butcher paper. I haven't done the math yet, but that could easily be true. All right, while I'm waiting for that to heat up, I'll go ahead and take this one down. Now to me, the obvious place to set something especially thick that can rock and get uneven pressure is right in the middle of where your top platen is coming down. So I'll put it right there. Then I can go ahead and set this inside. Now I have my paper upside down. It's wanting to curl up. Let's do this instead. I think that'll be okay. I could always just tape that down. Let me do that. What the heck? A couple more little bitty pieces of tape's no big deal. Now I just use this traditional tape dispenser. If you have one of those that cuts automatically little pieces, let me know if you like it. I've considered buying one. I just haven't been ready to pull the trigger to spend that money yet. I know they're not that expensive, but I don't want to spend money needlessly. Now I'm up to temperature, so I'm going to put this tile up here. I can put hot things on this. It just protects my table and my cutting mat. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Hope it turns out well. All right, let's check it out. I'm going to try just to peek at it. That way, if I need to put it back under the heat press, I can do that, and I won't have taken the paper all the way off. Now, there was no bleeding through the back of it. Ooh, that's hot. Now, here's where 4 pieces of tape is a negative. Okay. That's pretty cute, but I feel like it could use more time. And maybe I need to turn this up to 400. All right, let me see if I can show you what it looks like so far. That is cute, but look at all that ink still on the paper. So Hopefully I don't mess it up, but I am going to put it back under just for maybe 30 more seconds. Just making sure that's pretty well in the middle. Okay, so I'm up to 400. I'll go ahead and hit the timer. The timer's set for 45 seconds, so I'm going to stop it when there's 15 seconds left. And you know, just like on a normal heat press, I think I'll go ahead and rotate this. Okay, I left that in there about 10 seconds after the beat because I had pulled it out and taken a lot of time to do that. That is better. Okay, I think that looks so much better. Now you see the ink release out here, that's outside of the image. I almost feel like it might be slightly lighter over here than over here. So on this next one, I'm going to rotate it halfway through. But all in all, that is cute. I think that's adorable. Okay, so this time, I think I'll do 30 seconds, then rotate it, then 30 more seconds. Now I'm just going to rotate the paper a little bit and finish off with 10 more seconds. It looked pretty good when I looked at it, but I felt like the color wasn't quite even. And that looks just a little bit better. So there's the ink release. Looks pretty even except for outside where you have the ink that wasn't covered. And then there's the coaster. I think she's going to love these colors. It's a Valentine's theme. She loves cats. How could you go wrong with that? I think it's just amazing what we can do these days with technology such as sublimation. It makes it so much fun to make gifts at home. And so easy to customize things. So thanks so much for joining me. Watch for a couple more videos on other things I'm going to send to her. I'm going to try to do 2 or 3 more videos this week. So hopefully I'll see you there. And until my next one, bye-bye.